I'm 99 years old. I don't know how many more mornings I'll see, or how many more times I'll sit in this old chair and watch the light move across the floor. I suppose that's why I'm finally saying this out loud. There's a story I've carried for most of my life, and I don't want to take it with me when I go. I don't expect anyone to forgive me or even to understand, but maybe if you're listening, you'll hear something in it that matters to you. My name is Isabella. I was born in 1925. That sounds like another world now. I grew up in a small town, the kind where everyone knew your name and your father's name before you. My parents were good people, hard-working, quiet. My father worked at the mill. My mother kept the house and raised us 3 girls. I was the youngest. I always felt like I had to prove myself, to be more than just the little one tagging along. I'm not sure when I started believing that life was something you had to win. Maybe it was watching my father come home with his hands raw and his back bent. Or maybe it was just the way things were back then. You worked, you provided, you kept your head down. You didn't talk about feelings. You didn't ask for more than you were given. I was a good student, not brilliant, but steady. I got a job at the post office when I was 19, sorting mail in the back room. It was honest work, and it paid enough to help my parents. I met a boy named Daniel at the church picnic. He had a smile that made you feel like you just heard the best joke in the world. We married young, as people did then. I thought that was the start of everything. For a while it was. We had 2 children, a boy and a girl. I worked, Daniel worked, and the years rolled by. I was promoted to supervisor, then manager. I started staying late, bringing work home, telling myself it was for the family. I wanted to give them more than I'd had. I wanted to be someone they could be proud of. That's the thing about mistakes. They don't always look like mistakes when you're making them. Sometimes they look like duty or love or ambition. Sometimes they look like the right thing. I miss birthdays. I miss school plays. I miss quiet evenings on the porch, listening to Daniel talk about his day while I knitted. I told myself there would be time for all that later, when the kids were older, when the house was paid off, when I retired. I remember one night my daughter came into my study. She must have been 10 or 11. She wanted to show me a drawing she'd made. I barely looked up from my paperwork. I told her I was busy, that we'd look at it together tomorrow. She nodded, folded the paper, and left. I never saw that drawing again. There were so many little moments like that, small choices, each one harmless on its own. But they add up. They build a wall, brick by brick, between you and the people you love. You don't notice it at first. You just wake up one day and realize you can't see them anymore. Daniel tried to tell me, in his way. He'd ask if I could come to bed earlier, or if we could take a walk after dinner. I always had a reason to say no. I thought he understood. I thought he knew I was doing it for us. The years kept moving. The children grew up and left home. My son moved to another state. My daughter joined the army. Daniel and I found ourselves alone in a house that felt too big. I thought we'd finally have time together. But by then, we'd forgotten how to talk to each other. We moved around each other like ghosts. I retired at 65. They gave me a gold watch and a cake in the break room. I remember looking at that watch and feeling nothing. I went home, sat in my chair, and realized I didn't know what to do with myself. The house was quiet. Daniel was in the garden, as he always was. I tried to talk to him, but the words felt strange in my mouth. He died 3 years later. Cancer. It was quick and it was cruel. I sat by his bed in the hospital, holding his hand, wishing I could go back and do it all differently. He squeezed my fingers and told me not to be sad. He said he'd had a good life. I don't know if he meant it or if he was just trying to make it easier for me. After the funeral, the house felt emptier than ever. The children came for a few days, then went back to their own lives. I tried to call them, but the conversations were short, polite. They had families of their own, jobs, responsibilities. I told myself it was normal, that this was just how things went. But the truth is, I built that distance. I spent years teaching them that work came first, that feelings could wait, that there would always be more time. I see it now, too late. I see it every morning when I wake up alone, every night when I turn off the light and listen to the silence. There's a photograph on my mantle, Daniel, the children, and me, standing in front of the old house. We're all smiling, but I can see now that I wasn't really there. My mind was somewhere else, thinking about deadlines, bills, the next promotion. I wish I could step into that picture and shake myself. I wish I could tell that woman to put down her briefcase and hold her husband's hand. I don't have many visitors these days. Most of my friends are gone. The neighbors are kind, but they have their own lives. Sometimes I sit by the window and watch the world go by. I see young couples walking their dogs, children riding bikes, people laughing together. I wonder if they know how quickly it all slips away. I'm not telling you this because I want pity. I've had a long life, longer than most. I've had comforts, a roof over my head, food on my table. But I lost something along the way, something I can never get back. I lost the chance to really know the people I loved. I lost the chance to be present, to listen, to share the small, ordinary moments that make a life. If you're listening, if you're younger than me, and almost everyone is now, maybe you'll hear what I'm trying to say. Don't wait for later. Don't tell yourself there will be time. The days slip by quietly, and you don't notice what you're missing until it's gone. I wish I'd known that the most important things aren't the ones you can measure or put in a bank account. I wish I'd known that love is built in the spaces between the big events, in the quiet evenings, the shared meals, the simple conversations. I wish I'd known that you can't make up for lost time, no matter how hard you try. I'm 99 now. My hands shake, my memory fades in and out. Some days I forget what I had for breakfast, but I remember every moment I missed. I remember every time I chose work over family, every time I said later and meant never. If this story means something to you, I hope you'll think about it. Not because I want you to change, but because I wish someone had told me all those years ago what I'm telling you now. I don't have much time left. That's all right. I've made my peace with it. But if I could have one more day, just one, I'd spend it sitting on the porch with Daniel, listening to him talk, watching the sun go down. I'd hold his hand and tell him I'm sorry. I'd tell him I love him. I'd be there, really be there, for every moment. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you for listening.